So, in my last blog update, I was speaking about how June was one of the most transformational months that I've had since being on the island here on Maui. And part of that was the beginning full moon experience in June, and then ending with my first trip to the Big Island. So, when my partner Adam came to visit, we took a few days to embrace exploring the Big Island. And actually, we ended up visiting 3 islands during a 1 week period because I'm so close to Lanai. It's a 45-minute ferry ride there. So we spent some time there and then left Maui and flew. You just hop on over. It takes 20 minutes to fly to the Big Island, which is amazing. And I got to reconnect with a lovely, lovely soul, Jenny Fuller, who I used to work with at Aveda. She's been on the Big Island for over a decade and shared a lot of her deep wisdom about the island. And what came out of that experience was a few things. Number one, it was really humbling. The energy of the Big Island connects, in theory, to the chakra. So it's very grounding. There is a lot of lava rock. There's a lot of energy there. And that pulled me in deep down into the earth quite quickly.
Sorry, I'm still not sure.
So Siri thinks I'm talking to her. That happens a lot when I'm recording these videos. And anyway, so we got there and immediately I felt intuitive. We knew we wanted to see the Captain Cook Memorial and found where the trailhead is. And we're thinking, okay, it's a memorial, it's a landmark. This is a historical representation of Hawaii's past. And so it'll probably be a groomed trail. You have these expectations and these assumptions. And didn't even grab water, didn't have sunscreen on. And got down what turned out to be about halfway and started realizing, this is a bigger deal than we anticipated, and started talking to people coming back up who were wearing swimsuits and had some beach gear and picnic gear and snorkeling gear. So I was like, we must not be that far because they're carrying all this equipment. And you're halfway there. You're so close. Like, keep going. Okay, great. Get down to the very bottom after going through what felt like I climbed, even though we were moving downwards, it felt like I climbed a 14er in Colorado. We get down to a very unassuming landmark and to see a beautiful lagoon area, and there were a lot of people snorkeling, and I'm sort of trying to get my wits about me because now I'm realizing we'd been in direct sun for quite some time. Probably it's been about 45 minutes to an hour. No water. Now, what people do typically is they hike in, they spend some time, they picnic, they eat, they replenish, they snorkel, and then hike back up. I was like, listen, we don't have a lot of time. I'm thinking about water in the car. Let's hike back up. So we push, we persevere, and it's one of those moments where you're really getting into your headspace. And I mean, there were some critical thoughts in my head. I know there were some vicious thoughts happening, which are funny now, but at the time I literally felt like I was going to murder nature because I was delirious from the heat and the exhaustion and the intensity, and realized it was the island humbling me in a lot of ways. Respect. This is part of why in me, in some divine wisdom, I knew that when I got here I needed to have my Saba challenge. In yoga, that's like your service, karmic service, to balance, and the balancing of giving and receiving. I feel like I'm receiving so much from the island. It's important that I give back, and that's why I chose to volunteer at the Maui Humane Society, which is not easy work. It's challenging emotionally, it's challenging physically, and the experience I'm having with how animals live on the island is very different than how it is on the mainland. So all that to say, we get through this hike and transformed. Right, and then the rest of the island experience was quite grounding and balancing and soothing. And then what I took away from that was, after getting to revisit with Jenny, she brought me the gift of a lei that had been blessed with mana energy, which I hadn't received yet since I'd been here. And the next morning, I did my own welcoming to the island lei ceremony, which is going to be in my next blog. But after all of that, I would say this experience on the Big Island was a reminder of expectations and assumptions, and the importance of really understanding that it's okay to dive into things and trust and just open yourself up, but the humbling reality that we still set expectations in our mind, and things are not always what they seem in our head and out there in the world. So Hop over to my next one. We'll keep it going.